What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? The one, the only, the most chaotic panelist and podcast host in all of Texas returns to you back with another episode of the Geeks 5 Ever podcast. Joining me always is the man with a plan, the Ayatollah of rock and roller. He will spin dash his way into your hearts, the Texas gaming hedgehog himself, Keyblade Sonic.
That was awesome. That was great.
I actually practiced yours all weekend, by the way.
Okay, I really appreciate that though. That was an awesome intro. Pleasure always being here every Monday. At 7 o'clock this time, not 8.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just right now we just a lot has happened this past weekend. We could talk about it. That's for another time.
That's for another time. We'll talk a little bit about that right now. And always joining me is my producer. She is the voice of God. She is vengeance. She is the night. She is the one you can't see. The one that's more invisible than John Cena himself, Dankapus.
Hi, everybody. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm drinking Goku flavored soda right now.
How was I supposed to guess that? I can't. All right. And joining us, we have a very special guest. He is one part. He is one of the con chairs. He's one of the owners. He actually works with the all-inclusive convention that we've been talking about for weeks. That's right. All Con Dallas, Mr. Todd.
All right, Captain Mexico, thanks for having me tonight. I'm really excited to be here on a Monday night. Got nothing better to do.
Hey. Wow, that sounded like a participation trophy. Woo, no plans. Might as well be on the show.
Actually, with 33 days of all, kind of got a lot to do. But you know what? I will always make time for you. Always.
You know what? Thank you so much. Yeah. So I was just kidding, but thank you so much for coming onto the show to talk to us a little bit. We have a big show tonight, guys. Definitely a lot has happened over the last week or so since the last time we talked to you on Thursday. We came live on Thursday to talk about the WrestleMania kickoff show, which broke the internet once again. This past weekend was the trading card game convention and Anime-verse, or should I say Waffle House Con?
Nah, just anime. So there's people out there who don't know, but I think I don't know if we could talk about it now or we could wait until
we can mention it briefly, but we will just to kind of add to that. Mm-hmm. So guys, being podcasters, we always have to pivot. We always have to be able to make adjustments and change and embrace change and all that thing. So tomorrow, our Gatekeeping Gamers podcast subject for Shit Talkie Tuesdays is being changed to next week. So tomorrow we will talk about what Sonic's about to mention.
Yeah. Let's just say this past weekend at Anime. This is just Anime-verse. I will say this. Let's just say the stuff that I describe and I witness, man, that's gonna punch you in the face really hard. Trust me.
Yeah. Let's
for the
just
people out there, if you know, you know.
You know, sometimes we just wake up choosing violence. All right. So thank you. All right. So before we begin, I do need to put out the disclaimer. We got to do this at every show in the beginning now, based on the feedback we've been getting. So the show is for mature audiences only. Remember, we have there it is. Strong language, adult themes, and extreme sarcasm. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember, all the opinions expressed on this show do not reflect those of the other sponsors, admins, or leaders of Geeks 5 Ever. For any questions or inquiries, or if you would like to make a complaint, you can do so at geeks5ever@gmail.com. All right, guys, time to get started. All right, Mr. Todd, thank you for joining us. So we have a little bit a longer intro, but we wanted to get down to the nitty gritty and ask you the real hard questions.
All
we
right,
have some of the toughest questions. Let's go. Let's knock out the first one. Do vampires poop?
Absolutely, and it sparkles.
It sparkles?
It does.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's just a running joke I ask every guest that we have on here. Like every time I'm like, we're gonna ask you the hardest, most serious questions. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna be like, I didn't sign up for this, and then I start off with, do vampires poop?
Well, you know, it's the sprinkles on the cupcakes that actually cause that.
Okay.
All right, cool. Hey, Fart Knocker, first comment of the day. Cool, it's Todd. Fart Knocker is a fan of Allcon.
I believe it. It seems rather appropriate for the venue.
So for those of you guys, for those that aren't aware, Allcon is in Dallas, Texas. It is coming up in mid-March. I'm going to get the exact date for you because I wasn't exactly ready. But yes, Geeks 5 Ever is one. We are panelists for the convention. So AllCon is March 14th through the 17th. They Thursday is what is known as Free Thursday for them. So if you are in the Dallas area or if you're in Texas, you know, as Bucky's would say, you got to risk it for the brisket. Go out to AllCon Dallas and come say hi to Geeks 5 Ever during our panels.
That's right. Bring it on in. Also, the important part about Free Day Thursday is that it's not a scaled down day on the convention. Thursday is actually second only to our Saturday. So when we do a Free Day Thursday, we're not half-assing it. Nearly all of our guests are scheduled to be in. All the vendors are going to be there. We've got a full day of panels. If you're not sure what's going on, hey, we've got putt-putt and laser tag. You know, come and play, figure it out.
So how long have you're one of the con chairs, or you're the con chair for AllCon?
I'm content manager, yes.
You're content manager, okay. So how long have you been working with AllCon?
AllCon was devised in 2003 in my front living room during a Stormtrooper sleepover. The members then of the Star Garrison of the 501st used to travel together to DragonCon Atlanta. And we began wondering, why is it we're driving all the way to Atlanta once a year when Dallas didn't have any major conventions at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to put together this great Star Wars convention that was going to be all about armor modifications for Stormtroopers. And as we began looking at what it costs to price out a venue, we figured out that there's no way that we can, like rent a hotel for the 30 of us who were excited about this. And so that's when we started expanding the convention, finding other groups that are also too small to have their own convention. And that's where the All came from in AllCon, is we kind of banded together in 2003, all of us who wanted to put a convention together with different interests and ideas. And that's where the initial panels were built.
It's kind of, okay, so let's go back. Let's talk about the sleepover. When you say sleepover, were y'all all like wearing Stormtrooper pajamas or onesies or stuff like that?
We were wearing quite a few Star Wars pajamas. Yes, that's factual. What's
that sounds awesome.
The Sci-Fi Expo used to be the local show, if you will. It was a toy show, and they would always have one or two Star Wars actors there. And my house was central in the Metroplex. So we as the 501st would always attend as a group. As Star Garrison would attend as a group. And my house was the primary rally point. So we all come here. My wife cooks us dinner. We'd have a pajama party. At that point, I had a couple of books out. So it was just a natural gathering place. So we'd all get here, have dinner, sleep, go to the Sci-Fi Expo, come back, crash again, have a little, Friday night party, go back the next day at Sci-Fi Expo the second day, and then head home from there.
That's fucking cool. That's cool. It's so crazy to think, like, I like the fact that y'all came together. You're like, okay, we can't do this, so we're going to do that. And it was just like, y'all start off, it's just like a group of people. Like, let's do something, but we don't want to. And then eventually you became like all inclusive. That's how you came up with the name AllCon, I'm guessing. It's just,
Correct.
All together.
Like, it's crazy how that, I feel like that is, what is the word I'm trying to say? It's kind of like, it's kind of like progressive, but you were like, I don't know. I can't think of the word.
Well, back in the day before AllCon, we were running into some resistance in that people were convinced that the Star Trek people and the Star Wars people wouldn't get along. And by the time you throw anime in there and manga, it was just going to be a madhouse that nobody would get okay, so thank you for saying that, because that's actually part of the point I was trying to like bring up, because when I started going to conventions, so growing up in Houston in the, the hood, the ghetto, whatever, you talk about like being a closet anime closet anime geek, nerd, fan, whatever. Not just anime though. Comics, yeah, Power Rangers, just like you couldn't be out in the open about it. And like the only convention I knew existed for comic books was San Diego Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew about San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. And then when I started going to conventions, I remember like the cosplay competitions would be like, you could only be an anime character during the contest. Like they were very strict on like what could go in the competition, and they were like strictly anime. And then when you
had to have your source material, you had to have your persona, everything had to be aligned.
Right. And like anime conventions were a little bit more closed off to like, oh, you're Captain America, why are you here? This is an anime convention. Or vice versa. If you're at a Comic-Con, it's like, oh, why are you here dressed up as Goku? Like this is a Comic-Con. It everything felt closed off.
Yeah.
And everything was kind of divided. where Allcon you're trying to be like all inclusive, and you know for a fact, like you kind of mentioned that, like, hey, you know, this might be like a Royal Rumble battle royale of fandoms, but I feel like you were like thinking ahead, like you guys were living in the year 2024, you know, because now conventions
Or
are
so
are
open.
doing, they're kind of doing what you guys were already doing, like, hey, we can't just be anime anymore, we got to be everything, or we can't just be gaming anymore, we got to be comics too, or we can't just be comics, we got to, like, you know, be everything, like everything is now just being bunched up in the conventions, and it feels like you guys were kind of already thinking ahead when it came to that.
Well, we were kind of born on a dare in that when we tried to put a convention together, we went to the existing conventions. We went to Sci-Fi Expo and said, hey, how do we do this? Went to there's a literary convention. We went to them and said, hey, how do you do this? And the people who were running, you know, some kind of social event wouldn't talk to us about how they did it. They were very closed-lipped. You know, it was all proprietary, which I'm sad to say that most of them are not around anymore. And so really a lot of our outreach to other groups was not only, hey, let's do this together. It's hey, we have to figure it out from scratch because no one's helping us. And that's why Allcon actually turned out so completely different from anything else around us, is that nobody else gave us input. Nobody else helped us. Mm-hmm. So what you see from Allcon today is what came out of our heads. It's like, okay, well, if we don't know how to do it, we will do it the way we want to.
Right. It's like a lot of, I feel that, like, because you talked about this is everything that came from us. It's like a lot. It's a lot of trial and error. People don't realize that there's a lot of trial and error in everything people do. There's a lot of trial and error in our podcast that we do. We try new things here and there. Like, we didn't always do it like this. The way we did it was on OBS, and we had a bunch of pictures on the side, like, hey, sponsors, you know, which was not true. We didn't have fucking sponsors.
No, we did. We were just trying to be like all the other like known podcasters, you know, we were trying to like emulate them, but then we kind of realized, you know, we could just do that, but at the same time we could add our own style to it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not often most people do that. Most people would, like, you know, when someone wants to be like a content creator for YouTube, they always strive to be like the same. They try to do the same exact format, but sometimes you got to like take a risk and like do something else that could like help stand out, you know?
But it also helps with longevity because it's something that we've built. Mm-hmm. A lot of the social structures have changed in the past 20 years. When we first started, social media to us meant we had a MySpace page.
Yeah. AOL.
We couldn't get email addresses because people back then didn't have email. You know, we're talking about organization year 2003. We're flip phone era. And we've had to come this far. Now we've gone from social media, you know, to, for a while there was a website called Meetup where people would get together with common interests, and that kind of faded. And the Facebook came and everything went, you know, virtual. Back in the day, if you want to know how to make dragon wings, you had to go to a convention and find someone who knew what they're doing. Nowadays, you want to do that kind of construct, you flip open YouTube and, you know, 20 minutes in, you're an expert. So a lot of what the convention has done is had to actually evolve around to become more hands-on, more of a social platform. And the other part is people today don't know how to come together for the meetup type thing. They don't know how to run into each other. They don't know how to socially interact. So we're that group. If you need some place to learn how to interact with people, come to Allcon, because I mean, you've got 5,000 people there, and you know at least 4,000 of their friends.
That's right. Shameless advertising for Allcon. Allcon, Dallas, Texas, March 14th through the 17th, 2024. The 2024 theme is Secret Agent Action Hero, celebrating 20 years.
It's Allcon. Let's all go to Allcon.
I literally like started calling y'all, like, so we didn't know if you had like a slogan or like a catchphrase. Like ours is like, you know, the voice of the voiceless. So I started saying like, hey, come to Allcon, Dallas, Texas, the all-inclusive premier convention in Texas.
We like to run with the drops, like over 300 events. What will you choose to do?
I like that.
And then Allcon is your favorite con. Have been since 2005. That's really the only two we run with. Oh, right. The catch, costumes, gaming, performances, and more.
That's right. That's right. I like the fact that y'all like so a lot of cons, a lot of conventions advertise the fact, oh yeah, we got like 300 hours worth of panels and 300 hours worth of events and shit to do and yada yada yada. No, I'm not gonna say their name right now. But like y'all legitimately have a full schedule, because I was looking at the schedule. We're on there. And Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be busy. I might have bitten off a little. No, I didn't bite off more than I can chew. But I'm really happy. Like I am more than happy to contribute, like to the convention because I really like the con. The first time I went to AllCon, I had an amazing experience. It was amazing. People were so like friendly. People are easy to approach and talk to, make friends. Nobody's acting like an asshole. I really loved it and enjoyed it. And after that first year, I had decided like I want to host panels for this convention and I would like to help this convention. And we did for a while and then we went away for a while. But we're back this year. And it feels amazing because I'm excited. I'm excited too. We're so excited for AllCon. My friend who's driving has not driven to Dallas in like since before my daughter was born. That's 5 years ago. He refuses to drive to Dallas. He hates Dallas. He doesn't want to go to Dallas. He doesn't want to go near Dallas. He doesn't even like going on road trips. But when I told him we were going to AllCon, he said he like
complete 180.
Yeah, 180. Yes, let's go.
But see, that ties back to the origin story in that by presenting panel content, you are AllCon. Okay, we rent the hotel. We put together the course schedule. We have maybe 15 basic events that we produce. Those other 285 things, that's you.
Yeah.
I mean,
so basically the panels and the events and all, they're the lifeblood of the convention.
They absolutely are. So Cole Houston runs our game show track. You probably are, if you've been to AllCon, you're familiar with, we have a room dedicated to game shows. Cole actually started off as a vendor. He is the only vendor who's at AllCon 1. Cole's been with us since the very first day. He graduated from the vendor room up to doing content. Now he has a room dedicated to what he loves doing, game shows. 20 years later, we're all kind of getting up there. Cole can't do, 30 shows in a weekend. So he's began bringing up what he's calling producers. There are people who are regulars at his game shows every single year. Now they're putting on their game shows in his room. So that's how the community grows and expands. So yeah, the content is the people who come, the people who enjoy it. Like I mentioned before the show here, people who run our Starship Bridge Simulator, we're just attendees. They started, I think, in 2007 or 2008. They now have a small chart of their own. They love doing the Starship Artemis Bridge Simulator. They've got their own room now. They run the Bridge Simulator, 3 of the days. So it's really just a community experiment that's just absolutely exploded. We're having such a good time.
It is a great convention. I feel like so there's something for everybody. So you have the problem with a lot of conventions is you have the family-friendly conventions, which are way, I don't know if this is the right term for it, but they're way too family-friendly. Like, and then you have the not so family-friendly conventions that are way too like, okay, I'm never bringing my kids here again. This is crap. But I feel like AllCon has like I said, I've been going there for years. Y'all have a really good balance. Y'all have like a great balance, and y'all do it so well for both. Okay, we got something for the family. Like y'all, sometimes it feels like AllCon is like better at being a family-friendly convention than other conventions, and y'all are better at being an adult convention than some of the conventions that are dedicated to 18 plus only.
I think it's because we don't stick to one or the other. We're able to pick the things that we like that are family friendly. We like to pick the things that are, a little bit more mature content. If we were to try to devote ourselves one way or another, then we're locking ourselves into a genre. Just like in fandoms, it's like locking yourself into a fandom. By being able to supply a little bit of everything, we get to give you the best of everything. Nice.
I remember this is a story I want to share with everybody. So one year, this is when Moana came out. Moana was just brand new. Everybody was.
Yeah.
My hair was a lot like I didn't have my side shaved, so my hair appeared much thicker and like fluffier and wavier. So when everyone saw Moana, everyone just out the bat just started calling me Maui. Just, Maui. Whenever I had my hair down, I was Maui. And we go to AllCon, and for some reason my friend starts the running joke. He's like, "Hey, look, it's Maui." And then half the convention by Friday night started calling me Maui. And then there was this little boy cosplaying as Elsa that comes to me. He's like, Maui. And I'm like, fuck. I'm
Sure.
Maui now.
Own it. Own it.
You're him.
I'm Maui now, damn it. And it was even the people that are from Hawaii that were there were even calling me Maui. I'm like, bro, you're Samoan, I'm Mexican, we're not the same. And it was such a great experience.
Kids sealed the deal for you.
Yeah, the party, like y'all had some great, like y'all have a party which is amazing. Y'all do a really good job of monitoring everything. It's a safe environment, fun environment. It's awesome. You guys take care of everybody. I got to meet Walter Jones there. We hit it all. We became buddies.
For those not know, Walter Jones is a Power Ranger.
Right. Yes,
the original Black Ranger.
The original Black Ranger.
Zach.
The Power Ranger.
He was, meeting him there was amazing. I got to meet all kinds of all kinds of friends there. And I remember, like, Alcon is like, man, like I've never once had anything bad to say about Alcon. And it's not like I'm trying to kiss your butt because you're here. Like, legitimately, you guys are really like well structured when it comes to your staff and volunteers. For one, you don't treat them like crap. I have to applaud that. Like, I'll applaud any convention that doesn't treat their volunteers like, free slave labor.
No, not at all.
As
a matter of fact, number one prize for volunteering this year is a free day at the King Spa. Make sure to sign up.
If I wasn't already running 11 panels, I would actually probably take you. I would probably volunteer and take that up. But no, I got
how coquettish of you.
So for those of you guys that don't know, officially Geeks Survivor does have 11 panels this year at AllCon. We do have some on Friday, Saturday. Threw me off, but it's whatever. Because it says from 11 to whenever. It's like a 2-hour, 3-hour panel when it's not meant to be one, but it is what it is. Like y'all have really good communication. Like the con, like it's not like massive. You're not gonna go to AllCon and expect like Anime Expo or San Diego Comic-Con.
Nah, you're gonna spend like pretty big for the size. It may look small on the outside, but on the inside there's a lot to do.
I think if you probably wouldn't know this reference, but I think they're slightly bigger than Delta, which is a really good size con.
Is that Delta H?
Delta H con, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Delta H con, I think you guys definitely are bigger than they are, as far as like size wise.
It's close. Delta H is really close. I think what's going to throw you is the size of the venue, but I think as far as actual people attending, it's close in demographics.
No, I meant the venue wise.
Okay.
The venue, you guys have a really good venue. You guys are really good at communication. I've never had any issues, and if there have been any issues that I've seen or that I've noticed, not everyone's going to be pleased, not everyone's going to be perfect, but you guys do a really good job of handling it or trying to handle the issue at hand. Y'all are really like most panels do start on time. Most people are very much, they start on time, they end on time. Like the scheduling has never been an issue. You guys have all kinds of things going on. Y'all had a dance and karaoke running at the same time, and y'all had speed dating, which I don't like that, but it's whatever.
Oh, you need to see what we're doing this year. We're doing speed combat. It's wooden combat puppets with balloon heads, and they have pins for hands, and they're like marionettes. So if you're not single to worry about the speed dating, you can now attack. You have 3 minutes per person, but you can now do speed combat with balloon-headed attack puppets.
We're the ones running the single. So I don't know about speed dating, but we're running a singles panel this year.
Right.
So we have the single social gathering, which is literally. So just to kind of share with everybody, you don't have to be single to attend our panel. It's literally a panel where you can go and make friends and whatever. If you're single, and you decide that's your decision as an adult.
But there are no puppets, right? No wooden puppets?
No, there's no puppets, but
okay.
There will be sombreros and sombrero dancing.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I gotta get another sombrero. What's up, Phantoms? Welcome to the show. Phantoms is watching on Twitch. We have most of our streamers on the YouTubes, but we got a couple on Twitch. And I think I gotta check the Instagram, see if it went live or not.
If you're on Twitch, feel free to say something.
That's right. Well, it shows a little logo next to the picture. I wish we could make these bigger. It's whatever. I kind of lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the singles panel.
Right. So the singles panel, It's where you go, we play some music. I might play the cha-cha slide. We'll see how that goes. But it's really meant for you to go and just like socialize. That's really what it is. And so we do have a brand new panel that we're introducing that I wanted to say thank you. I don't know if you're the one that approves the schedule or not. I don't know who does, but whoever did, thank you. Because there is a new panel that we are introducing that we're testing out at AllCon, and we're gonna, you're gonna. It's called "Do Anime Fans Secretly Hate Anime?" So that one's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be where we, some older anime fans tend to hate the newer stuff. I'm guilty of that. I do not like Burrito. They should have just ended it with Naruto Shippuden. Like, I don't like Burrito. No, I just didn't like Burrito. So, yeah, I mean, we do have some of our other premiere panels. We have we have mental health awareness, which is a panel, dedicated to being there and offering emotional and spiritual support to those that need it. Because sometimes when you are going through the hardships of life, sometimes you just want to hear the words, I'm proud of you. Keep pushing forward. It's literally a panel where you come, you share, you vent if you choose to. And we may hug you, we may not with consent, or we may offer advice, or we might even exchange numbers. So in case you need someone to talk to, like, we're there. Like, that's what Geeks Fire is all about. We're trying to be the voice of the voiceless. And we have to acknowledge that the people with mental health issues sometimes don't have a voice. So we have to be that voice for them and be there for them. Because if we don't, then who will?
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't mean to make that into a whole speech, but that was me advertising again for the panel. So AllCon has all kinds of, y'all have the party. Like I said, y'all do a great job at, I've never seen any incidents, not that I'm aware of.
There are stories. You just haven't heard them.
Right. No, I'm not right. Like I said, I haven't seen any. That's why I also added not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure there's things, but y'all have done such a really good job about like everything as a whole. And that's got to be tough as a convention, no matter what size the convention is. That's got to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be tricky. We have a slight advantage in that one of our owners is actually a law enforcement officer.
Mm-hmm.
So if things get out of hand, the badge comes out and things just kind of vanish into the background, and the convention keeps on rolling.
That's great. Yeah, I think I'm ready to ask one of my big questions.
Go ahead.
So I was looking at the Allcon website, and I was looking at the guests, and so I want to know how was the story of getting Ross Beedman as a guest. And for people who don't know, Ross Beedman is the child who asks how they're gonna take on all the Siths in Revenge of the Sith.
Here, I got you.
I want to know what was the conversation to getting the child that asks Anakin what's going on?
For that, we have to delve into kind of a sideline life in that I collect Star Wars things. And Ross appeared on Facebook as kind of a, hey, nobody knows who I am, but, I'm going to try to earn some money for charity. I've got some pictures of me. I was in one of the Star Wars films. And so we met via Facebook with him peddling his autographs. So once I got the autograph, I started thinking, a lot of the guests are on the convention circuit and everybody has seen them. Mm-hmm. And without wanting to minimize his character, that the child that Ross portrays isn't somebody who, everybody's eager to fly over from the United the United Kingdom, to come sign autographs. As while he's affordable as a guest, by the time you calculate airfare and, hotel and car and all the services, he's getting up there in cost. But he's just so unique. And that's what we try to present. Just like you're the voice for the voiceless, we are the outlet for people who have stories to tell. Mm-hmm. And then we heard beyond just his acting experience in Star Wars, he's an MMA fighter and for charity.
That's so cool.
It is. It's amazing when you think about kind of the full circle thing in that he's the first one cut down by Anakin, which is supposedly off camera. And now he goes out and he fights. He beats up people for fun.
He's trying a redemption arc.
Yeah.
He had to get stronger.
That's why Ross Beedman is out here serving up heaping hot ass whoopings for charity.
Yes, he is.
That's that's great. I love that. I didn't think that this was going to be that deep, but I'm all here for if his signatures are for charity, that's amazing.
So we've had some really unique guests at Alcon. We had Kate Vernon at one point. She was in Battlestar Galactica. And at the point where we had her, she was really pretty much nobody. She was a sideline character. Mm-hmm. And shortly after we had her, it was the next season, it was revealed that she was one of the final 5 Cylons. So everybody who, just happened to sign, there's this woman signing at Alcon, Kate Vernon. Who is she? Well, I don't know. Let's get her autograph. She turned out to be really significant to the storyline. Just like Alcon 2, Christine Hewitt, who was in the cantina scene in the original Star Wars, 1977. Not a lot of people came and got Christina's autograph the second Alcon. She made it to Alcon. She made it to Star Wars Celebration 2. Then she died of pancreatic cancer. So if you didn't come see Christine Hewitt at Alcon, you didn't get her autograph. We've just had a really fortunate run of guests at the convention who, when we bring them in, we bring in some interesting people. And then their story continues on beyond Alcon. And our public would say, hey, I saw them before that happened. I've got their autograph. I paid the $35, and look, now I have Kate Vernon's autograph. It's so incredible. So it's people that we like to bring in people who aren't necessarily the people who speak the words on the script, the A-list actors. A lot of conventions go for them for the draw. We like people who have the stories. Getting back to Ross was maybe 6 on the set at the time. So we get to hear what Star Wars is like on scene as a 6-year-old.
So I do want to address one of the comments, but before we get to that one, I do want to address this one as well. A big guest I remember was Austin St. John, the original Mighty Morphin Red Ranger back in 2021. Love seeing him.
I'm not sure I can tell his story. He was scheduled to be, I believe, in Germany during Alcon. And something had happened. The story that I got, I can't verify the accuracy, but the story I got was that he didn't have proof of immunization against COVID. So they actually turned his plane around mid-flight. They would not allow him to disembark at the convention he was supposed to be at. And we've done several bookings with his agent. And his agent called me up and said, basically, hey, Austin St. James, can't land where he's supposed to be. He's on his way back to the U.S. He's landing at DFW. Do you want him? And we're like, well, of course we want him. And so he was an unannounced guest that October. He just kind of showed up. Hi, I'm Austin St. James. I got my table. He had his stuff ready to sign. He was good to go. We actually walked around with a bullhorn announcing that he was down in the vendor room, and everybody thought it was an Alcon prank. But for the lucky few got down to see him. We had him in 2021.
That's awesome. I wish it could have gone more. I'm definitely looking forward to a few of them. Seeing Stephanie again. Stephanie was going to be on the podcast last year for our Dragon Ball special, but we rescheduled that one for this year. Definitely looking forward to that. There's some other ones that I'm definitely looking forward to. It's going to be an amazing year this year. I definitely want to get something cool for Mr. Ross to sign, just so I can have his autograph and kind of mess with him at the same time. So I'll see what I can come up with. I do like this comment, though. I think this one's more for us. So Vanessa says, I've never been to a panel before, but they go Facebook Live and I can see it and they just talk about some stuff. So Geeks 5 Ever is always experimenting with ways that we can have our audience more involved, because we're all about audience interaction. All of our panels, without our audience, like, we don't have anything. We don't have events, we don't have panels.
Yeah.
We don't have a podcast.
The audience is they're pretty much like our bread and butter in a way, because they pretty much help us and we help them, try to get like their stuff out there. They just want to be a part of it, because sometimes most of the panels that we've sometimes have seen or I've heard stories of, usually some of them are just like, oh, they just sit there, they just like go to sleep, they don't like fully interact, until like towards the end of the panel, which is like, oh, a Q&A
when they give away the free prizes.
Yeah.
Definitely, we are going to be experimenting with. So Alcon is going to be our first convention of the year. We don't have anything else. Yeah, because we're not going to Ushi. Since AllCon is our first convention of the year, there's going to be some certain things that we're going to be experimenting with, including live streaming our panels. Now, they won't be as interactive because it's going to be hard to keep up with the audience and the live stream, but we're going to do our absolute best. So we'll work out some details, especially for the more important ones, like the mental health awareness one, which is named emotional awareness. That one's going to be very important because we're trying to get a message across that we're here we're all geeks, we're all nerds, we're all otakus, whatever you want to call us. We're fans, whether you're a fan of gaming, tabletop, Star Wars, anime, comics,
music,
football,
Roller
music,
derby.
roller derby, professional wrestling. Whether you're a fan of D&D or you're a fan of fantasy football, whether you're a fan of cosplay, whatever it is, we're geeks.
Mhm.
We're here for each other. And one thing that has become more apparent is that mental health awareness is a serious illness that we have to take seriously, and we have to be there and help each other. So no more, we don't do any of that shit where people are like, oh, you're just looking for attention. No, we don't do that crap. We're here to listen to you. We're here, like I said, we're here to be the voice of the voiceless. Literally announced, okay, we have another comment. He was literally announced for, Night of the Cons. You just mentioned that last minute. That's really cool. Like that y'all have like such a wide variety of guests. It's very reminiscent of like a Comic-Con, and y'all definitely don't have like a Comic-Con vibe. Y'all have the Comic-Con vibe, but at the same time y'all don't, because you're everything. You're not tied to one specific kind of fandom or geekdom or nerddom or whatever you want to call it. Because we went to the one year y'all were at the other hotel, not the Crown, but the other one.
Either the Western or the Renaissance.
I think it was the Renaissance, maybe. It was
Which
the
one
one
was under
y'all were there
demolition?
for like 1 year. Oh, it was like the one where they had the entire floor that was being renovated.
Okay, yeah, that was Intercontinental, which the same weekend we were there switched names to Renaissance.
Right. Okay, so the Renaissance, I remember there was like a Captain America, and then I remember there was an anime. I think there was like an Ichigo from Bleach, and then out of nowhere, like one of the best cosplays I had seen all night. Well, he was an older dude, and he was cosplaying Alfred, but he had the red phone on like a silver platter.
Oh yeah.
Pretty clever.
Yeah.
It was
Unfortunately, if you go back to the website and go under Fallen Fans, that was Michael Cross. We lost Michael in 2020, not to COVID. They actually had a heart attack in the hallway outside his apartment door. But yeah, that was Michael Cross. He was okay. Little con secret: we have people who call familiars. They're people who we see every year at the convention. They don't necessarily, they're not part of the convention. They don't interact with us, but they're always going to be there. They're people who you can look forward to seeing every year. And Michael Cross was one of those people who we were aware of, looked forward to him. If you ever saw the person who did the bad B-roll films, Christopher Mim, Michael Cross was actually like his #1 fan. We brought in Chris Mim just for Michael Cross. So he was a big part of our optics at Allcon.
Damn it. He's right.
And then you see, and that's just it. By attending Allcon, he's now touched your life, even though you've never met him. And all you have to do is talk about the man who cosplayed Alfred, and we know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. That sucks, because I talk about that guy every time we talk about Allcon, because I fucking love this cosplay, and I'm so sorry. I'm just
yeah. See, it's my turn to bring the thing down now.
Yeah. No, it's damn. Hold on. I'm not crying. You're crying. Wow. Holy crap, man. That's so crazy. Like, and I only ever saw him the one time, and it was
he was memorable.
Yeah, that he left a really big impression on me. Like the only other thing that I like, there are a couple things that I remember. The little boy in the Elsa cosplay, meeting Walter Jones, the guy in the Jurassic Park cosplay with the fake taser, tasing the crap out of me when I was dressed as Barney the purple dinosaur. And our friend here, the cosplayer who cosplays Alfred, like that. Because I never actually got to meet him. I didn't get to really talk to him that much. I just remember seeing, I was running towards a panel and I saw him and I just wanted to, like, okay, stop. Yeah, screw the panel. I gotta say hi. And it's hard, and it goes to show you, like we talk about like how, like we never talk about this on the podcast. We don't talk about things like this. We have talked about death and how important life is and all that stuff. But this is a true sign that you never know when's the last time you're going to see somebody.
And it's also showing the Alcon's community event. You didn't know Michael Cross, and yet you stopped in your tracks when you had someplace to go, and you interacted with him. The guy with the taser in Jurassic Park stopped and interacted with you. It's that community emotional health that Alcon feeds into, and that we make it as much as possible a safe place to interact with each other. A lot of the big conventions we go to, they're shoulder to shoulder. You don't have time to look at anybody. Maybe take out your phone, take a quick photo, and keep walking. But there's not a lot of interaction. Everybody's there just kind of doing their own thing. Whereas Alcon, everybody's there to do stuff together.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So that's one thing that we've talked about. So Alcon is like, I say they're a really good sized con because you have smaller cons out there, attendance wise, the size of the actual convention center, and like you have it seems to me like sometimes the smaller conventions are the much more like social friendly conventions where people can actually like take a moment to stop and like talk to each other, where like you go to like we go to Comic Palooza every year. Comic Palooza has way too many goddamn people, and it's just really harder to make friends there. Not that we can't socialize, but everything's so far away. There's so much going on. Like you really don't have a lot of time to stop. And when you do run into somebody, it's like, hey, how you doing? What's up? What you doing? Blah blah blah. 5-minute conversation, then you walk off in different directions because you got something to do.
Yeah.
Where in Alcon, like literally, we made friends. Like the moment we got, like one year, the moment we got there, we were just chilling in the hallway for 3 hours, like arguing. I forgot what we were arguing about, but it wasn't like a real argument. It was like a friendly argument. But it was just like 3 hours of just as soon as we got there, having a conversation with complete strangers that we've never met before. And as a matter of fact, some of my friends that I'm still friends with today, I met at Alcon. Like that's how awesome Alcon is, because it's one of those conventions to where, yeah, it has a lot going on, but you can literally stop to appreciate your surroundings and make friends and connect with people. I've done some crazy shit at Alcon, and I really love the convention. I love it as a whole. It's definitely one of my favorite conventions. That's why when we applied for Alcon, so like we apply for conventions all the time. Sometimes we get our stuff denied, sometimes we don't. So I didn't know, because we hadn't worked with the convention in years, so we didn't know like, okay, are they gonna like, okay, I'm gonna put all of our panels that we do, all of them. Like these are panels we host, we're good at, we're gonna submit all of them, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they approve, what they like, what they don't like. I expected like 4 panels. I was expecting like 4 panels, and then I get my thing back. All right, you submitted 6, we gave you 7. I was like, what? Awesome.
I looked you up. If during your panel you watch the door, you'll eventually see somebody come around with the clipboard. We come by 3 times. We come by at the opening of the panels, see how many people are in there at the opening. We come by in the middle of the panel, see how many people actually stayed or arrived. We come by at the end of the panel, see how many people wandered off. I have a listing of all the panels at Alcon, who put them on, both the sponsor or the host who operates it, and the co-panelists. I know who's running late. I know, sorry to say this, about who showed up drunk on Friday night and tried to do their panel, completely obliterated, which is sometimes funny, but not always. And so when I saw you come through, I went back and looked. You've got a good track record of starting up. The speeds, not the single social that you have going on, I considered cutting it simply because I have it going on already myself with the puppets. And then as I read into your description, my description, we'll run out competitive content. So that's where the balance comes in, is we don't just accept everybody. We accept quite a few, but we look to make sure that it is a diversity of interest.
Right.
If it's going to be split audience, we try to avoid that. We like to have plenty of a single topic, but not back to back.
I actually wanted to like show my appreciation for that, because on this show we talk about panels, we talk about conventions, we review cons, we talk about things cons do, the good, the bad, the ugly.
We break it all down.
We break it all down. Ain't nobody safe around us. If you come to Geeks 5 ever, we gonna talk all the shit. You know, we gonna rate you. We gonna be fair, but we gonna rate you. So I don't know why I did the accent, but here's the thing. I appreciate what you guys do. For one, that right there says more, and it makes me feel better because there's too many conventions, way too many cons, and a lot of anime conventions are guilty of this. There's too many. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called Ask. Like it's pretty much asking a cosplayer. Like people will dress up in the character and answer questions while in character. And a lot of the times, it's like teenagers in cosplay answering sexual questions from grown-ass adults. And I'm just like,
why?
No.
I don't want to classify anime conventions one specific way because there are many that are different. Mm-hmm. But what we found is that the demographic for anime-specific conventions typically runs to the younger crowd. Whereas we go for our demographic, we target 30 to 35-year-olds.
True.
We target people who have kids, who might also have somewhat adult interests that we kind of monitor to make sure everybody stays in their own lane. But we try to avoid the con drama as much as possible. Mm-hmm. We avoid overcrowding. We avoid the con drama. If someone's got energy to burn, we've got activities, the laser tag, the putt-putt. If people have extreme costuming interests, we have like the Labyrinth Masquerade Ball on Saturday nights. Mm-hmm. We've just brought in the escape rooms. We try to have as much as there can be to do as well as just sit and learn.
Yeah, I like. Can I just go back and say that I love the fact that you say everybody stays in their lane? Oh my god, it's awesome! I love that.
I wish more cons were like that.
And anime cons tend to be a tad bit younger audience. There are some adult-only anime conventions. There are some panel I've been hosting panels since 2009. I am really thankful to Allcon because the convention has given me the opportunity to grow and learn. I've had some great panels at Allcon that I still host today, and I've had some absolute stinkers, like horrible panels that
some less attended.
Yes, less attended. And that's the thing about panels; it's a trial and error, and I learned from it. And Allcon gave me Allcon is one of the few conventions that I'm grateful for giving me the opportunity to grow as a panelist. So it's Kamikaze Con, which is no longer around, Allcon, and Delta H Con. Those are the three major conventions that have allowed me to grow as a panelist. And I'm not talking I'm not tooting my own horn or kissing my own butt here, but I feel like our panels do draw a crowd. Like we have people that will come to a convention just to see us. Mm-hmm. And I love pixelation. James, if you're watching this, buddy, I love you. Your panels are great. You do a great job. I can't do PowerPoint panels. I can't do that crap. I do not I just couldn't.
This is not for you.
It's not for me because I do PowerPoints at work because I'm a trainer. I'm like a teacher. And I don't like that. I don't have a script. I don't have any scripts for any of our shows. You go back, our introductions are normally the same. Sonic's, his was a little bit better today because I actually practiced it. Because I've been thinking about what I wanted to say for him. Because the Texas Gaming Hedgehog thing, I've been saying that for years. It's a play on the Texas Rattlesnake, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin. A lot of our stuff comes from wrestling stuff, the most talked. I call myself the most chaotic podcaster and panelist host in all of Texas. That's a play off of The Miz, the most must-see TV, something like that. So there's a lot of things that I do to try to improve myself, and Allcon has definitely given me room to grow because, like I said, there was a panel I have hosted for the convention. I'm not afraid to admit, guys, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up.
I'm going to turn this into a teaching moment, though. There's a New York Times bestselling author named Troy Denning who's been to Allcon 3 times. I believe the record attendance for one of his panels was maybe 7 people. And yet those 7 people who were there to meet Troy Denning. They were there to learn from Troy Denning. So just because you walk by a panel room and there are less than 10 people in there, don't think it's a bust. Don't think it's not interesting. It could be something so very specialized and specific that those people in that room are enraptured by what's going on in there. That may be the sole reason they're coming is for that content. It could be they belong to a community or a fandom that is so obscure that they're shocked that there's a panel going on that topic and it's just for them.
Yeah.
So don't just stick your nose up because the room's not full. Actually step into the room, find out what's going on. Okay, you may be surprised what amazing things are happening that just nobody's caught on the schedule.
I agree because when I've learned, like I said, I've learned I attend other panels and I get ideas. I don't like look, panelists steal from each other. Let's just put it out there. Panelists do steal from each other. There are other panelists out there. There was a panelist at Alcon that actually stole one of my panels. It was Star Wars versus Star Trek. We did it at Comic Palooza, didn't do that great. I didn't want to bring it to Alcon because I was focused on other panels, but the guy running it is somebody that's worked with me, and I thought that was really cool. But I've learned a lot of lessons. Like I've learned a lot. I've learned presentation. I've learned marketing. Like because when you're doing panels, I will when we have a panel where it's called Hosting Your Own Panel 101, and I will literally sit there with people and be like, okay. I'll sit there and I'll talk to everyone in the panel like, okay, what kind of panel are you thinking about hosting? You have one in mind? You already have some stuff like worked out? Like, let's talk. Let's see what we can help you build because I legitimately want to help other people. And I tell them like, look, when you're pitching panels to a con, you're selling this panel. You're selling this event. There's probably 5 other groups with that exact panel, but you need to like kind of sell it to them. You got to stand out. Why should they come to yours instead of the others? Why does yours matter when there are 4 other groups that do exactly the same thing? So you got to kind of sell it because people get discouraged. And that's the thing. There's a reason why I bring this up because there are other panelists that want to host panels. They want to do panels, but they get discouraged. Like as soon as they get rejected, like as soon as they I've been submitting panels and nobody will approve them. Well, you got to keep trying. You got to find that you got to find what works, what doesn't work. It's a lot of trial and error.
It's like that old saying. You could have 100 no's, but that one yes,
I'm gonna keep pitching my con while we're here. And one advantage Alcon has is we do have over 300 events in 4 days, which means if you have something that you're kind of hesitant to present, you know all about it, but maybe you hadn't done a panel before, you're kind of nervous, we can put you in a room. We actually gauge the room size based upon what we think participation is going to be. And maybe you just want to start with a small panel. Maybe you think, I want to do this. I'm interested in it. I've never done it before. I'm not going to draw 50 people. And most conventions, if you can't fill a room, they're not going to bring your panel in. We've got panels that seat as small as 20 people. So if you want to try it, put in the application, hey, I'm new at this. I want to get my feet wet. If you're upfront with us about what your skill is and what you want to do, we'll find a place for you. This is Alcon. We'll find a place for you.
I think that's really encouraging. I really like that. I think that gives more future panelists an opportunity to start somewhere and then grow from there. Because, like, honestly, I'm mid-30s. I don't want to do this forever. That's why Geeks Forever is a group and not just like it's a brand and it has people that work with it. It's not just me doing everything, and I eventually want to be able to walk off in the sunset and just like not worry about this shit anymore. Because I like entertaining people, but this gets tiring. It's a lot of work, and it's like coming up with this. But while we were talking a minute ago, I was actually looking up my our profile on the Alcon website on the showcase. So right here, and this is funny. I think this is really, really funny. Because I didn't think y'all were going to approve this, and I didn't think y'all were going to use the description that I wrote out. I kind of was just, I don't know what overcame me, but like, this is going to be a joke. Let's see. I bet you this isn't going to get approved, but whatever. We'll do it anyway. So one of the panels we're hosting on Saturday at 3 p.m., 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes long in the Monarch Room, which is, and it's rated T for teen. A hill I would die on. Do you have an opinion so strong you would die on that hill? Do you believe Goku could beat Superman? Do you believe Han shot first? Do you pour your cereal before you pour the milk? Join us and persuade us to change our minds.
Do you think boneless wings are just chicken nuggets?
I should have put that. I'm going to use that one for the next convention. Do you think boneless wings are just chicken nuggets with hot sauce. Okay, and then the second one is Saturday at 7 p.m. Do anime fans secretly hate anime? Are you an anime fan that doesn't like the new stuff, such as Boruto, Naruto's Sun
Burrito?
Show? It's literally in question marks. Like I'm
Milk.
confused.
Milk, cereal, then microwave.
No, get off my
Oh,
get off my
God.
show. Get off my show. No, I'm messing with you. Don't leave. We love you,
Nah, if it's just leave the milk out of it. Just put the cereal, then microwave. It
bro.
doesn't matter.
No. There's someone we met that like gets a spoonful of like cereal and then dips it in the milk, like a cup of milk, and then eats it like that.
Oh man, do I got a story for you? I know a guy who likes to put cinnamon toast crunch in his Chef Boyardee ravioli
Okay, that's enough. You're gonna
because
make me
he
throw
says
up.
that it tastes better.
Okay, you're gonna make me. I'm gonna blow chunks, and we have a guest on the show today. All right. Actually, let's do it this format. So, like, here it is. Here's the. Like, I'm not kidding, bro. Like, it says it right there. Are you an anime fan that doesn't like the new stuff, such as
Burrito,
dot,
Naruto, Naruto
question
Sun Show.
mark, Boruto.
Seinfeld.
If you secretly hate anime. Oh my god!
You know, we
And I
use that
wrote-
rule because first of all, it's your shtick. We don't want to step on it because there's a lot of creative talent out there. If I were to try to rewrite that, I mean, it would lose its punch, right?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
there are other people where if you change so much as one word or correct a spelling, I mean, you're going to get email from them every day for the next 5 days.
Oh no, y'all definitely helped me out. Y'all definitely did, and I appreciate y'all so much for that. Because I'm dyslexic, y'all definitely said join us and persuade us to. I have never once used the word persuade. No, but I appreciate y'all so much for helping me out. Like this is great. So this one, Pokemon versus Digimon, I had to put in all caps. This is not a death battle debate. As soon as people see that, it's an instant like, okay, we might actually check it out now.
Now, I have to ask, did you put that in there because Neil Kaplan's coming?
No.
Oh, because Neil Kaplan was Hawkman in Digimon.
Uh-huh.
So I expected that. I can't make any promises, but Neil has a habit of dropping in on people. So do not be surprised if Hawkman begins heckling you from the back of the room during that.
Oh, I'm gonna go get him. Hey man, here's $5 and a Subway coupon. Come to the panel.
That Subway coupon that expired.
Not the expired Subway.
Best we can do is $40.
Yeah.
So we have a lot. Like we got the podcasting 101. So like this is the one that threw me off. 11 to 2. I'm like, huh? What?
Yeah, that's a typo. That's a bad entry in the database.
That's all good. I thought that was just kind of weird. I was like, all right, maybe I should bring it up during the show, or maybe I should just leave it alone. This one right here, guys, this one's very special to me because Dragon Ball is celebrating 40 years this year. In 1984, the original manga for Dragon Ball by Akira Toriyama debuted 40 years ago, bro. Like it. So we're going to talk about everything. There might be some insider information that I can share with y'all. I remember sharing the Broly movie. Like we already talked about Broly 2, which ended up being Superhero. But we're going to discuss new video games, Sparkling Zero, rumors, and we're going to have some stuff to give away. We will not go to the clearance aisle and buy random shit and then give it away.
Oh, that hurt my
This brings
feelings.
me to
No,
another
we're taking a shot at
That's half our prize fund.
another Dinktopus interjection is that the original voice of Son Goku is going to be another guest at the con, correct?
That's right, Stephanie. Yeah, we brought up Stephanie. She's going to be there. Maybe we can bring her out to say hi. Definitely. I love Stephanie. She's awesome. We have terrible fan fiction. This is definitely one of the panels I'm not looking forward to. I love it, but I never look forward to it.
I was going to say that's one that another group normally does. It's not a convention activity. It's one of those things that we're aware of that happens in the guest rooms after hours, but there's actually a terrible fan fiction reading that goes on in the guest rooms. It's invitation only. So just that's the other thing about Allcom. Make sure you can figure out different people you know, because there's a lot that happens that's not on our schedule. As an organizer, our greatest joy is the week after the convention. We get to look at all the photos we took and went, where the hell did that happen? That we didn't schedule. That's not ours. Is that our hotel? That's our hotel. It was just everyone loves taking content and running with it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm. So I didn't know about the fan fiction one, but I did know about like people doing stuff in their rooms that are like kind of like panels. I remember one dude had a hotel room and he had set it up like an actual panel room. Like the bed was gone, the dresser was gone. It was just a bunch of chairs in there. I'm like, what?
It's like a little film festival.
At the con one year, someone pulled the bed out and put a slot car track in, and that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I remember one year they had a stripper pole.
We've had mostly naked Twister. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
we've got video of slip and slide in the hall. That didn't happen. Yeah, things happen.
Only at Alcon.
Only at Alcon.
This one I think Sonic can appreciate.
Oh yes, 2 of the biggest wrestling companies go head to head and open mic trash talking slugfest.
Short, sweet, and straight to the point.
Yeah, I'm guaranteed there'll be a New Japan person out there.
Banana.
Maybe, I don't know.
Nah, he's out. No, but yeah, definitely we are. And it's interesting because you guys, y'all are so that. There's a lot. I know there's a lot of other groups that do similar panels. They probably have better. They probably do their panels better. There's some that we are second to none. But like either way, I think Alcon is a great convention, especially if you're going into hosting panels for the. Oh, I see the comment you said. Milk, cereal, then microwave.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Good Lord.
And then he commented with yum.
Yummy.
So, I mean, Alcon, it's just from beginning to end. Like it starts early. It starts really early. There's always something going on.
Yes. When does it start?
7?
Now, are you talking about the pajama jammy jam the night before, or are you talking about the actual kickoff on Free Day Thursday?
I'm just talking about anything in general. Like there's always something going on at the con.
The night before the convention, we actually have a pajama jammy jam, which this year will supposedly feature a life-size whack-a-mole arena.
Ooh.
I'm listening.
It's designed as bounce house technology. So the whack-a-moles who pop up out of the hole will literally be popping up. There'll be an inflatable hammer. They're attempting to steal ball pit balls from a center of the arena. It's a fun thing that we bought from China, so we hope it doesn't explode and kill us all.
There is a panel that I want to steal, that I want to do at Alcon. I don't know if you already do one that's very similar. I don't know how y'all feel, but there was a panel at Ushicon where they had like a bunch of people get together in a panel room. They had like boxes of cereal and milk, and they just played random 80s, 90s Saturday morning cartoons on a TV Saturday morning.
We do not have that currently, but that was the Saturday morning Otaku Marathon. It was all the Otaku openings, and it was 24 hours of it from Friday mid-morning to Saturday mid-morning, and I think that was in 2011.
We got to bring that back. If nobody does that, we'll do it. Because they played a cartoon. I didn't know Fonzie had his, not the Fonz.
Yeah. Happy Days.
He had his own cartoon.
Of course he did.
Hey.
And then they go back in time. And he threatens to give a T-Rex that happens to be purple, by the way. So we know where Barney was working before Barney. He threatens to give the T-Rex a knuckle sandwich. And I'm like, I want to see this. And like half the people in the room were like, yeah, let's see him give the T-Rex a knuckle sandwich. Like, that was cool. I love that. And it was like, I just freeloaded on cereal the whole morning because I didn't have money for breakfast. But I thought it was a great concept. People were just there chilling, making fun of the cartoons. There was cereal, milk, breakfast items. I thought that was really interesting. And you don't see that ever. Like, that was the first time I'd ever seen that. And they played like legit, like one episode per Saturday morning cartoon. So it wasn't just one cartoon for like 2 hours.
Yeah, the only thing we had similar again was it was all the opening themes to the cartoons. You could sing along to the openings. They weren't full episodes. So yeah, there are different takes on that in different groups.
We look, guys, fans of the Geeks Forever, whether you're watching the show live, post show, or maybe you're just listening to the audio version, like, let's make it happen. If somebody doesn't do it, we'll sign up for it because that's a great panel. I hate waking up super early in the morning, but I'll wake up for that. I think it's a great panel. I think it's a great idea. I thought it was a good idea. And
Just like just like kids used to do back then. You know, we don't like waking up, but except for Saturday mornings.
Yeah, but you better come in pajamas. Don't show up in your underwear because we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
If we're going to produce that, again, consider the Wednesday night pajama jammy jam, because that is tongue in cheek. We say it's clothing optional. You know, we do ask you to wear pajamas or a robe. It is a family event. We typically have the hot tea or hot chocolate. We got rid of our ping pong table after last year. We went 3 years without anybody playing any ping pong, so we had to get rid of the ping pong table. But we have the Inflatacade there, which is the whack-a-mole arena, the inflatable archery range. Go figure that one out. We have the adult bounce house, which just means, you know, big people get to get into. People love ball pits, so we have filled the bounce house with ball pit balls, and it's a good time. It actually started at the Crown because as a 4-day convention, we had 300-400 people the night before the con just kind of wandering the hall causing mayhem.
Yeah,
so if we have that many people in the hotel, we have to give them something to do, or they're going to find something to do.
So basically, DashCon, but if done correctly.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you. Maybe you know, maybe not. Don't know. I haven't really looked at the schedule yet, or I don't know if you posted it, or is there karaoke this year again?
There is a cosplayer named DV who has signed up for karaoke. I do know it's not in a ballroom. It's in the Quartz room, and I believe it's either Friday or Saturday night. She was in it last year. We cut it off right before midnight because of the loot drop. We actually have to use that room to store our 2,400 balloons before we throw them down upon people. But yeah, the cosplayer named DV is doing karaoke one of the nights.
Okay, because I didn't, and so they're pretty much like a regular now, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We were asking because we were curious because we also do karaoke for other panels. Not panels. I'm sorry, for other cons, mostly in Houston. We're kind of branching out, but we don't like Austin. They got my boy Cruz. He does that for those cons. I know Dallas. It's like a mix and match between like me and some other groups. So we were just checking, because I do plan on checking out karaoke. I plan on going. Woo! I'm really happy and excited to go to AllCon. I'm really looking forward to it. But I gotta ask you, you've seen all these events. Are there some panels like that AllCon has had before that you loved but just like didn't come back? Maybe because the
circumstances, different.
Whatever, like the like life happens. Maybe the host has a family now. Maybe they move. Maybe they got another job. Maybe they got abducted by aliens.
Yeah, we've had many regulars over the past 20 years who will see, put on 3, 4, 5 years of content, and then, they either politely say goodbye or they just vanish. You have to consider this is our 20th year. 20 years ago, we were all different people. I mean, 5 months ago, we were all different people. And so to take people who come back to AllCon year after year, generation after generation, people buy houses, people move away, people go to college, or people graduate college, or, just any number of things. And we're just... It's a weird way to say it, but we're blessed. All the different people who've been able to touch our lives is AllCon, and that's the way we view it. Is everybody's coming to see us? and here's okay. I'm gonna let you in a secret that I don't normally tell because I tell everybody. AllCon is actually my birthday weekend every year.
What?
So AllCon is my freaking birthday party.
What?
And that's why everybody gets to come.
Hey, now we definitely gotta get a group together and sing you happy birthday.
I'm doing the Star Wars show and tell on Friday. That's my birthday, and I'm giving away my Star Wars toys that day.
Nice.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, up for grabs this year is the grand prize is a 1985 American Toy and Furniture Star Wars toy box. So
that's exciting.
That's actually cool. I'm like excited. I'm like, huh.
Followed immediately by Star Wars swap meet.
That's actually
I did want to ask about the Star Wars show and tell. Like, how does that work?
I make it up as I go. Again, I don't know if I'm going to have 3 people show up or 100 people show up. So when people arrive, they're going to be issued a numeric order. I figure we can get maybe 10 to 15 people through at most. It's kind of patterned off the Sunday costume catwalk. For the catwalk, people aren't really graded per se because they just want to show off their stuff. And so I'm going to be there. Cole's going to be there. We're going to have a couple of Star Wars aficionados, and we're looking for passion. I don't care if you've got the greatest Star Wars thing in the world. You just kind of walk up, here's what I have, and walk away. There's no passion there. We're there. We want to see people actually show off, their Star Wars stuff. Give us a story behind it. Why did you care enough about deciding to bring it? Is it from your childhood? Is it just an incredible thing you just got off, eBay you've been looking for years? So there are no hard fast rules. You're not, graded on anything, scale 1 to 10. If you've got the most passion for what you've got, if it's cool to you, you may be the winner.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually
awesome.
really interesting. Yeah.
You actually just gave me a great idea for a future panel. Not at all con, but like at a con.
Why not all con? Why can take my
because you already do it. You do it already. That's your.
I do it this year. Okay, it's my convention. I can't do a panel every year.
It's true.
So I will plant the seed. I will leave it in the care of the community, and I will stand back and see what it becomes.
Because I want to do that with Power Rangers.
Oh, perfect.
Because
Power Rangers, your panel up for 2025.
I will. I'm already signing up right now. How do I? It's like Power Rangers. The fandom is so passionate. Everyone's got something they want to share. As a matter of fact, Power Ranger fans are notorious for constantly showing off their collection. So that's perfect. Star Wars, I don't really have that much. I really don't have anything Star Wars related. But yeah, that sounds awesome. And like, I actually, you brought up a good point that I didn't think to ask you about. But you said so you do panels, and you're the media content director. How do you manage to do both?
I have 3 shadows whose sole job it is to bring me news I need to have in the moment, protect me from people who try to stop me in the halls when I'm going somewhere, and handle issues I don't need for me to touch directly. And just like, we get our lunch hours, I just say, okay, on Friday from this hour to this hour, I'm hands off, and I pass it to my security guy to take care of anything that comes up.
Okay. That's okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because I was wondering, because I've worked with conventions. I volunteered. I was a staff member for one. I was a guest, and working conventions are hard, guys. I know there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of fans out there, especially in our audience. There's people that want to be voice talent. They want to do anime. They want to do the voices for anime characters, maybe Pixar, maybe whatever. They want to work for. They want to run a convention. They want to run a business. They want to run a podcast. Whatever, they want to do something in the community that like on that scale, and it's a lot of work. It really is to run a convention. It is a living organism that has many gears that have to turn, and the slightest little hiccup could throw everything off.
Yeah,
and it's very hard. So that's why, like, when you said you do panels and you work staff, like
I do a panel.
Do a panel. So. You do a panel, but just one panel, because not all panels are the same. You might have like material that you need to prep. Maybe you have a speech, maybe you have an opening, maybe a closing, maybe you have to advertise something. Who knows? Panels are not the same. There are panels that use PowerPoints. There's panels where, like me, I just go on stage and talk shit for like an hour and then I leave. Kind of. There's structure to it. It's chaotic, but it's organized chaotic. Panels are different, but panels are for the most part entertaining or educational, and a lot of work goes into them. Even if you're like me, you just go on stage and kind of talk, and like you got to think about what you're going to do, what you're going to talk about, how you're going to capture people's attention, how you're going to keep their attention. Like, what happens if you're trying to make a right turn, but you have to make a left? You have to pivot. You have to do stuff on the fly, on the go. You have to adapt. And what if somebody shows up and trolls? Like, it's a lot of work. Running a con is a lot of work because there's a lot of stuff that happens. That's why there's multiple staff members that run different departments. When you run a podcast, like, it's not easy, guys. Like, we have to literally sit here. All right, what are we going to talk about? Who we're going to bring on the show? I got to post, I got to spam the podcast on Instagram. I'm pretty sure everybody hates me on there. It's a lot of work, and then we're always experimenting with equipment, with programs, with different stuff, and we have a ton of technical difficulties, especially with guests, because this restream this thing, yeah, you guys might not get it, but like this program that we use, like a lot of other podcasters, this is new shit to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are like, okay, what do I download? Nothing. What do you mean? Yeah, you don't download anything. Just click on the link.
That's it.
Like, are you trying to steal my identity? No, just
No.
click on the link. Just
Let's click on the link. That's it. That's how you just get in.
Promise we're not trying to report you to the FBI.
that's right. I don't even want your identity. You can have mine. But there's a lot of work, and so I really admire that because you're doing a panel, even if it's just one panel. There's a lot of work that goes into that panel. And then you're running a con, like you said, you have people that shadow you that if you don't have to get directly involved, they handle it. Like, hey, okay, people are like trying to stop you to talk to you. Like, hey, he's running late to a panel. You know, you can hit him up afterwards. And that really says, it shows the organization of the convention. It actually says a lot of good. So it actually makes you seem more professional and, you know, more organized and more dedicated to your craft and to not only making the convention a great experience for everybody, but, you know, hosting your panel. Because I say this all the time, panels and events, whether it's closing ceremonies, karaoke, guest that youngling or whatever you want to call it, panels are like the heart and soul of a convention. Volunteers are like the foundation. They're the feet. Guests are like the lifeblood. And staff members, you guys are the nervous system. You're the brain. You're the nerves. You're the one that makes everything move. It's like a living body. Because cons do need volunteers to help. Volunteers are the foundation of every convention.
Yeah, we have over 100 volunteers every year.
What is your I don't know if you're allowed to share this or not, but what is your, like, how many, if you could guesstimate how many volunteers you have retained over the years, like have you noticed that, okay, we have a lot of the same volunteers every year because we treat them awesome, or
we have
every year we have like
45 chronic volunteers, repeat volunteers. And the way we retain them is we have a spring picnic after AllCon. We have during the summer either a dinner get together, or we love getting together at Nickel Arcades. There's Nickel Arcade over in Addison over by the old Crown where we all gather. There are work parties leading up to AllCon. I don't have the list in front of me. For instance, I have 2 work parties coming up between now and AllCon where we're building the photo standees, we're building the wooden combat puppets, we're building the arcade one-up 6 of those machines. We're laminating badges. We're actually sorting crayons. We have 4,800 crayons in 16 colors. We have to separate into different satchels for the Taylor Swift-based event we're doing on Friday in the ballroom. It's not just a matter of, hey, come to the convention and do work. We try to take care of our volunteers year-round. And that's really the trick to it is we're not just a, hey, come see us in March and the other 11 months we don't exist. We have storage bills to pay. We've got content to develop. The whole mini golf system was built, during summertime hours. And every time we swap out holes, that's a summer event to try to. It's almost a competition with the volunteers to build out the next mini golf hole. We try to engage them to become a part of the convention, even when the convention's not happening. So the big thing about AllCon, I think the whole reason we survived this long, is because we're not commercial, we're community. We don't have sponsors. We don't have people contributing money. Whatever money we get at the gate, that's all we've got to live on all year. We don't have paid staff. Our volunteers don't get paid. We pay them in T-shirts, entrance, and then we have a budget at the end for all the thank you gifts so they can enter drawings for. Everybody walks away with at least 5-10 parting gifts, if you will. And then, like I said, when we go to Nickel Arcade, you show up for AllCon, we buy the pizza, we give you $5 each to go play in the arcade. We really try to take care of them as family. And I'm going to jump to the pandemic real quick because you mentioned 2020 when the hotel shut down. We paid all the guests to fly in. We paid the hotel ballroom. We paid all those bills. All that came out of our pocket. We didn't make a cent at gate. Okay, that was probably the largest loss year for us because we paid everybody and we didn't get paid by anybody. And everybody who either said, hey, that ticket I bought to get in 3 days, don't refund it, keep the money. Or, hey, roll that forward. You know, I can't be there in October, I'll be there next year. You know, don't bother paying me back. There's a lot of community that gave back to us, and we feel it's because we tried to give out to them first. The community had a vested interest in our survival through the pandemic year, and that's the reason why we're still here. So bring this back around to the volunteers. You can't just say, hey, come volunteer 10 hours and I'll give you, you know, a t-shirt that cost us $8. Okay, there's no balance there. It's nice that they get a thank you, but really you want them to be just as much part of the event as a panelist, because that's what they do. That's their thing. They may not come and, you know, and present content, you know, but they can volunteer their time, and that's how they're also part of the convention.
I think that says a lot about the convention, because I can appreciate the fact that you guys actually treat your volunteers like people.
Most of them are our friends.
And that's great. And
I've really, they're our friends.
That's really awesome. I really like that. Because let's face it, and I'm gonna I do this every episode. There are conventions out there, and this is me addressing my audience. Guys, there's conventions out there that treat their volunteers like shit. I volunteered for Anime Matsuri, and they treated us like crap. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. But so let me put it like this. The year that I was a volunteer, I will never volunteer for cons ever again. Because one, I already host like a ton of panels, so I try to focus on that only. But like, they were making hot dogs, and then they cut them up into like threes, and we split that.
Goodness.
Talk about like the most Mr. Krabs thing ever.
I'm like, didn't y'all just make $1 million? Y'all better buy me some Whataburger. And I just like, and I'm such an advocate for cons to treat their volunteers like, you know, treat them good, treat them like people. And there's a reason why there's a lot of, because people don't realize this. People don't realize that a lot of volunteers volunteer for a lot of the same conventions in Texas. Texas is filled with people that volunteer for every con they can. And they're just like everyone else. If there's a water cooler, they'll hang around it and talk crap about the con, or they'll praise the con. They'll say this about the con, they'll say that about the con, but they will talk about the con, good or bad. And like, there are cons that have an amazing return rate of volunteers. You know, you have 45. You said 45 people, right?
45 regulars. We have
45 regulars
cycle through.
That's a lot compared to the standards of most conventions. That is a lot. Doesn't seem like a lot of people, but for a con, all con size, that's almost a 50% return rate. Where most conventions, like the average, and I'm not kidding, the average is 30 to 35%. So that just says a lot about all con. Like I said, I'm not trying to kiss ass, but I do love the con. I do like what y'all do. I do love everything. Like, there are certain things. I'm trying to think.
The volunteers were actually one of the watermarks, if you will, that kind of let us know that we're making it in the beginning. When we started having people volunteer and we recognized them from other events where we saw them volunteering at, it's like, oh, you're going to volunteer for us too now? That's excellent. That means we've made it. You know, if the volunteers are taking an interest in us, you know, that means that, you know, treat them right, keep them coming back.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Holy crap. Normally, so the numbers are usually reversed. Last week we had a bunch of people on YouTube. We had like a couple people on Twitch. This week it's a bunch of people on Twitch, and it's like a few people on YouTube. It's kind of cool. I love it. So thank you everybody that's joining. Make sure you follow us so you can be up to date every time we go live. So with Allcon has been around. You said that y'all don't have any sponsors. Everything just y'all pay for everything with like the ticket with the gate sales. Is the not taking sponsors like nobody's offered the sponsors? That just like a choice y'all made?
Probably the past 20 years, we've had no more than 3 people offer to sponsor. And what they've wanted in return for the dollars to sponsor was grossly inefficient. It wasn't worth our while to take the money to do what they wanted. They're like, oh, I'll give you $1,500 for this or the other. It's like, you know, the amount of work it takes for us to do all that, we're busy. That's not, our balloon drop's $2,300. So if you come to waiting
Whoa.
$1,500, going, I'm gonna do this, that doesn't cover cosplay, man. But, and you want something like 10 to 12 hours lift from us for that? If you want to be serious about it, sure. And if you just want to mention on social media, we got no problem. If you're legitimate and you've got a message, you don't have to pay us for that. Occasionally on Facebook, you'll see us promoting other conventions in the area. There are other cons that need help with the lift. And so, yeah, we it's not that we don't accept sponsors. It's that nobody has come to us at a level enough that they actually pay for what we need to do to support sponsorship.
Right, and that makes sense because we had somebody not that much similar, but so we had somebody that kind of wanted to okay, hey, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that, but I want to do my own show within Geeks 5 Ever, and I want to be a co-host, but I want to be 50% of the spotlight. I was like, no, I don't think so. First off, the spotlight's me and Sonic split the spotlight, and then we split it with Dangapus and Jace when they're here, and whoever we have. It's I don't want somebody just overshadowing everybody, because we kind of have somebody that does that. We have a guest that'll come on here and they just talk and talk and talk, and not that I have anything against it. That's why they're here, but they're here with other guests and they'll talk over the other guests, and so it's we're just gonna have to bring you on your own. We're not gonna.
So we would feel like the background people.
Yeah, we had a guest that kind of just sat there and didn't say anything for 20 minutes straight, because the mate, the one dude that just wouldn't stop, just kept going and going and going. Even when we asked somebody else a question, he would answer for them. I'm like, no, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. It's come on, man, I'll pay for the month. I'll pay for your monthly service fee. I'm like, hell no. No, first off, no. It's and then no, because no, but yeah, I get that. It's really interesting because there are a lot of cons. There are a lot of people that have these insane sponsors, but they have so much going on with the sponsor. And picking and choosing sponsors is definitely you got to feel them, because not every sponsor works for every con.
I think the reason we may not necessarily be attracting sponsors is we do have the diversity of content. If a sponsor comes in with something family friendly, and then they hear that there's a mostly naked twister happening in the halls, they don't want to necessarily be associated with that.
Yeah.
Because we're community, we call it spontaneous content. It happens all the time. It's not on our schedule. We didn't plan it. We didn't anticipate it, and it happens. And so because we don't guarantee the rigidity of the event, it's really kind of a risk for people to sponsor when they're not 100% sure what's going to happen at any given moment. Now, what's also fun is things that happen without sponsorships. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile made an appearance last year, and that was just kind of out of the blue. So, I mean, there are fun things that happy accidents, happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with sponsors with that kind of stuff, would there be any were there any sponsors that you wanted to, but they instantly said no, or were there any that you'd like to see? At first, you were really.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. Sorry.
We were never really geared for sponsors. Again, being a community event, we don't make a lot of money, and many years we don't make money. We've had to, as owners, had to cash in 401ks to pay the hotel bill. Year two, one of our owners actually had to borrow money from his dad to pay the hotel bill. We've run up a bunch of personal credit cards making this thing happen. So it's not like we have a large group of stockholders, a large company behind it.
Yeah.
Because we only really need to make enough to pay the hotel bill, we don't have to be beholden to sponsors. The only reason we go so high on the loot drop at midnight is because we're able to. If we have extra in the budget the year before, it's not like, oh, let's pay ourselves this year. It's like, oh, let's buy more balloons. Hey, the toys and the balloons, were 30 cents this year. Next year we can go up to 80 cents per balloon.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, what do we do? Well, we made an extra $800. What do you want to do? Let's buy a whack-a-mole arena. Hooray. Because then people go, what is this human whack-a-mole? They go, yeah, we got video of it. Wish you were there last year. Sorry you missed it.
That sounds awesome though.
So sponsors would be helpful, but again, we're really kind of structured in that because we only need to make enough to keep the lights on. We really don't have to go out and beat the street for sponsors. Dollar wise, I imagine we're a very low budget production, but that's what people like because we're community.
Yeah, I agree. I do like that more. That you're more community based than commercial. It adds a more personal, and that's what it contributes to the whole personal experience of Alcon, and that's why I guess that's what makes it so like appealing to a lot of people, especially myself. Where like you go to like Comic Palooza's commercial. For one, it's like for a con that size, obviously it's going to be commercial. Like they have like T-Mobile and Verizon and like
State
all
Farm
kinds.
and all that.
Yeah. And it's like I was walking around Comic Palooza and I'm like, man, why the hell is State Farm here? You're not even a comic book. Like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. All right, State Farm. Like a good neighbor, loan me $50 because there's a figurine that I want. But like, no, I like that.
Or it's like State Farm. It's like, hey, can you like lower my insurance rate so I can buy more stuff here?
Yeah, for real. Like, come on, man. You're bleeding me dry. I don't have that much. No, but I think it's awesome. So Dankbus, did you have any? I know you had a list of questions. I know you've only really asked like 2.
Oh yeah, a lot of my questions are actually about the panels and stuff, but it seems like you guys are slowly answering those questions as it goes on.
Yeah, see, I told you, you got to chill out.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I also want to ask about the mini golf.
The mini
golf course that you guys have on all 4 days. It says on the website.
So at the Crown Plaza, we had a ballroom that we could not fill called the Whispering Oaks. And I felt bad that we had this ballroom for like 5 years with no content to put in it. So we began playing with things like Rocket Wars, which was we were doing Nerf rockets and building barriers out of stacking cardboard boxes. And one of the things that I always wanted to put down there was blacklight mini golf. We started creating a mini golf course out of the putting greens that you can get off Amazon, but it wasn't what we were looking for. We wanted true mini golf. And so when the pandemic came and basically killed us in 2020, in 2021 we were at the end of the year. I had a lot of time on my hands at home, and I am notorious at the convention, unfortunately, for being the PVC builder. If we need we call them cattle chutes. We need cattle chutes for lines. I build them out of PVC. I tried to do a partial laser tag arena out of PVC. I mean, I have more PVC in my shed than you can shake a stick at. So I decided that I could use PVC for railing. It's lightweight railing instead of like using wooden borders, because the balls can actually bounce off PVC. It's got some ricochet to it. So over the course of the pandemic, I began designing and building these mini golf holes. I'm using the green outdoor carpet. It's a perfect size to cut it in half from what ships. And then once I had my mini golf, course, at that point we hadn't signed the Hilton yet. I was hoping at that point to go back to the Crown Plaza, which we didn't know at the time was permanently defunct. So when we signed Hilton, I started looking around to figure out where I can set this mini golf, course up at. And we decided that Lantana 2 is the right size. Lantana 2 is situated kind of between the hotel and the office complex. So surely the office won't be too, incensed by a mini golf course indoors. And the first year we built it out of cardboard. We made obstacles out of Home Depot parts. It's funny because this kind of ties back to, I actually asked Home Depot to sponsor the mini golf. I was hoping, I wanted like $100 gift card. I just wanted something to help recoup some of the costs, and Home Depot wouldn't go for it. So I actually got Home Depot cards for my birthday that year. But we were using like fencing parts, some of the drainage, the downspouts in the houses make wonderful tunnels. I went on eBay and bought some train trussels, and used some pillows underneath the carpet to make some hills. So the first year was really kind of build it if you can, a fun course. And I was astonished at the sheer number of people who played it over and over and over. And so the next year, 2022, I began upgrading some of the obstacles. I took out some of the lesser holes that weren't as much fun, put in some new holes, upgraded the obstacles. And that was like one of the busiest rooms we had was mini golf.
I see.
So just it's continued to evolve.
Mhm.
We now have a FAO Schwartz Peter Pan ship. It's cardboard, but we now have a pirate hull with a ship on it. There's a steampunk hull. It's amazing the stuff you can get for steampunk off Amazon that makes wonderful, mini golf obstacles. And it just kind of grew from there.
Okay.
A lot of what happens at all kind of someone has an idea and we just run with it. And whether or not it's a good idea or not, the public always seems to love it. So, it's
Yeah, that was gonna be one of my questions. There was like, were there any ideas you had that at first it seemed good on paper, but then like when you executed it, didn't really work out the way you wanted to, and then were there any moments where like, okay, those didn't work out, we could just grab the feedback that we got and we look to prove upon it, and in a sense, okay, it's since become a staple in Alcon. Were there any moments like that?
we've had lots and lots of failures. We no longer do pinatas. What is now the Midnight Loot Drop was for the first 7 years pinatas. We had an issue to where when we went to the Westin, we didn't have a balcony to droop it over. So I tried to do it over pipe and drape. This was right after Rocky Horror let out at midnight. So people were a little excitable. Pinata actually got a little bit out of hand. I caught a pinata bat to the face, broke my nose, and gave me 2 black eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and this was Friday night Alcon. I still had all Saturday and all Sunday to go. So that's actually one of my favorite Alcon memories. They tried to reset my nose. The volunteer MD medic did, and I really was pretty much out of it. They were dragging me by my arms with my feet, and Neil Kaplan and Russ Adams were doing an after midnight panel. So they're drinking in the room in front of the panels and everything. And all of a sudden, security and another guy like dragged me through the hall, and I got blood dripping from my face. And Neil's like, "What the?" And they dragged me back to that room and dropped me in. That was the end of Alcon for me that year.
Oh,
So
man.
yes, we occasionally have the mishaps. But hey, like I said, we got the Midnight Loot Drop out of it, so that's even better still. Because who
Yep.
doesn't love popping balloons with toys inside?
That's true.
I think when it comes to anything, guys, whenever you're trying to host panels, when you're trying to do anything in life, the trial and error is very important to growth. It's very important that, yeah, you want to be successful, you want it to succeed, you want it to go running out the gate, but it's those mistakes and errors that help you grow and realize, okay, what can I do to improve it, to make it better? And that's like the way we do our panels. Like I'm always sitting here like, Sonic, I'm always like asking, okay, what is an idea for a panel, or how can I make this better, or what can I do for this and that?
Yeah.
Because there's a panel that I would like to introduce this year called the Anime Tournament of Power, and it's based off the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power. I'm still trying to work out the details, but I have that's just something ambitious that I would like to do this year. But I know it's going to be a lot of trial and error. I know it's going to probably fail the first time, but I'm looking forward to it anyway.
The failure's half the fun.
Yeah, it really is. Because I even make fun of it. Like, even when I do my stand-up, I even make fun of myself for my failures. Like, I will throw shade at myself, and that's part of my shtick. I like to. No one is safe, not even myself. I'll crack jokes at myself. But that's going to be awesome. Okay, we have another comment from Vanessa. Oh, that's going to be awesome.
So I think the one thing that Geeks Forever and Alcon have in common is our audience is forgiving. When we were at the Renaissance, it was 2 floors. And the only thing between them was a set of stairs and an escalator. The escalator was out of order all weekend. The place was huge. It took 20 minutes to walk end to end, which is not at all a typical Alcon venue. And as I was walking through the halls, I heard one person kind of complaining about the hotel. And the person with them, God bless them, said, "You know what? If it doesn't work for Alcon, don't worry about it. They'll just find another." And it's that understanding that we're all just kind of fans doing what fans do. And if things don't work out, they don't work out. We'll just try something different next time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that faith in us that we will get back up and try something different. And people will come see something if it's different.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, because like people don't realize like most of these conventions were like the first time or maybe the second time, they didn't start off great. Nobody remembers San Japan first year. San Japan is an anime convention. It's the biggest anime convention in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad the first year. It was okay, but you had to walk outside in the San Antonio heat in cosplay. Nope. It wasn't that great. Everything was hard to find. It was just bad. It was just bad. But they've gotten so good now. And a lot of things are like, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to try that. Is it going to work? And then conventions can learn from that mistake and they can grow from it, or they can just keep doing the same thing over and over and over that doesn't work. It's up to the people that run that con and to learn or grow. And I feel like All-Con has learned a lot over the years and has grown.
But what we've learned from the audience.
Right.
There are a lot of people. Year 2, Bill Blair, who has a world record for most in makeup cut. I can't say it because it's very specific. The world's record for most prosthetic characters on screen in TV and film. Anyway, Bill sat down with us for about 2 hours after the convention. She said, look, here's what you did wrong. And he wrote a whole list of things we did wrong. He says, here's what you did right. He wrote down a whole list of things. So we actually have the Bill Blair, book on how to run a convention properly from the guest perspective. If you're willing to listen to those around you, people will supply the help you need. So the trick is not to be, well, this is our event, we're going to do it our way. It's like, okay, well, you fell on your face. What now? Maybe someone around you who's been to other conventions, got to volunteer, see behind the scenes, or has ideas how this runs better, or even has an idea of something new to try.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you may not like it, but sometimes it's okay to.
You have to embrace the change.
Yeah.
And All-Con was terrible. I mentioned before the broadcast that Cole Houston had been a vendor since year 1. He was our only vendor year 1. We had the whole vendor room sold out on promises. First year con, everybody was excited. Lots of vendors signed up, good to go. 30 days out, I went to collect. Cole Houston was the only one, Piece of the Action Collectibles, who was in the vendor room. And he cleaned up. He was the only vendor. And then the next year, of course, I think we had 40 vendors. It picked right back up. But people came back for the second year. They wanted to see what we had learned from the first one. And that's what's important is, even if you go and you don't have the best of times, if it seems like a decent event, if it seems like people are actually trying, give them your support. So we wholeheartedly stand behind people trying new things.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a quick shout out to Bart Knocker. Like I said, he does go to All-Con, but just recently I tried bike riding and it's been difficult. Originally, I had an adult trike and that helped, but learning to ride 2 wheels has been an interesting experience. Hey, good job, man. I'm proud of you. Riding a bike, I hate that saying. It's always easy. It's like riding a bike. You never forget. You were like not riding a bike for years because you drive car. You can drive a car now and your knees are crap. And then when you finally get back on, you have to rebalance yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to rebalance yourself and then balance and ride. And then when you finally get it, your knees hurt after like 30 seconds of bike riding.
You're a mile from home. Now I got to go the other way.
Yeah. You're out and then like your driveway's up a hill. Now when you finally get home, you're like a fish out of water gasping for air. So yeah, good job, man. Takes a lot. It's a lot. It's not easy. It's definitely awesome, bro. I'm proud of you. We do have a couple. So we got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. So with All-Con, it's just down the court. Like All-Con is literally what's today? Like a month and some change away. Like right around the corner.
Yeah, it's literally about like pretty much under 30. I think around 30 days.
Yep.
All-Con, like it's really close. Is the schedule? Would you happen to know if the schedule is finalized?
The schedule is not finalized. The schedule is not final until it actually happens. If something bad happens to a panelist, they may drop off. We have a lot of people. The week before the convention, you're going to see the schedule jump because you will start getting people writing and going, hey, if you have any panelists drop, I really want to try this. And it's like, well, good news, we still have 73 slots open. And that may sound like a lot, but we had a year where we advertised more than 200 events. And the next year is more than 300 events. Next year is more than 400 events. And unfortunately, those were the years we were doing jingles. So our jingles kept changing. And we said, okay, we have to pick a number and stick with it.
Mhm.
So 300 is the number we picked. We were pushing almost 500 events, most all cons. We just stick with 300 because those are all the jingles we have now. We don't want to keep re-recording. So yeah, right before the convention, a lot of people try to get in to what they think, people are missing from the slots. When in fact, they're just filled. And sometimes ones that come in right at the end are the best ones. Sometimes ones coming right at the end are kind of clunkers. That's why they're coming in last minute.
Looking at the schedule right now, yeah, there's definitely a lot on here.
But there's always room for more.
There's always room for more. And
So
I can see, and I was going to ask you, like, how do you fit 300 panels on like a schedule? And like, because some of these other cons can barely fit like 70 or 80. But y'all, and I see, y'all have a lot. Oh, wow. Laser tag, area wars, celebration. Best believe we're still bejeweled. Don't lose your geek card anime. Who's hosting that? It's produced by All Cons Games and Theory Han Productions.
Okay, so that's by Han Productions.
Okay, that's cool. I might actually check that one out.
Yeah, we've got a single room completely dedicated to game shows for the weekend. So if you enjoy the game shows, you can sit in the same seat all weekend long if you want.
Okay, so Geeks, I got to meet this other Stars opposite, like I guess they're called Geeksters. There we go. I gotta meet Geeksters and see if I can get them on the show. They're hosting Geeksters Opposite Sex Attraction Speed Dating. Chat it up for your chance at love. Geeksters is hosting the Opposite Sex Attraction Speed Dating at AllCon for singles ages 18 and up. This is the only session run all weekend, so don't miss your opportunity to find your someone's to make the rest of the convention. So it's all weekend?
No, I think it's just a single session. For the past 3 years, Geeksters has actually been a content provider. They've done speed dating all weekend. They were an app up until recently. And so part of the speed dating and being an exhibitor was also the promotion of their app. They've now moved past an app. Now, instead of doing an app, they do actually speed dating at events.
Okay, that's cool.
We were trying to back away from it a little bit. The whole reason we were letting them do speed dating originally was promotion of their app. We aren't necessarily into the speed dating scene, if you will. So because they're now promoting themselves as a service, that's why they're there, is they try to push their ability to work at other venues.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a big fan of the speed dating game stuff. So there's a couple of panels I don't like, or events I don't like, because they're just not my thing. I don't get them. The speed dating one I really don't like, because from my personal experience they don't work, because it just has there's a lot of bad vibes. Like when I went to do speed dating game, I wasn't even interested in dating. I literally did speed dating and I was advertising my panels the whole time. Hey, so check it out, we have another panel after this, why don't you go check it out, we're doing this. I wasn't even trying to get a date. I was advertising my panels.
Most of them all kind of are that way, though. For when they do the speed dating or the speed socials, a lot of it that's what it is. Yeah. Because you really don't expect to find true love at a convention. Now you might. Like I said, I've known several couples that got together. It all kind of wasn't over speed dating, but it is possible to meet people there. And you never know. Maybe speed dating or speed social are where you meet them. Maybe you meet them in Starship Simulator. Sometimes you're sitting in a common interest panel.
I like how some of these. Okay, so I will say this. I was very worried about the descriptions that I use being way too long. Because the the anime conventions have like a character limit. But like this, there's one here that's like an entire story. It's the USS Perseverance Starship Bridge Simulator. It's got like a lot, and I'm like, man, I undersold my panels.
It's digital. We're not killing trees. You can write as long as you want.
Hey, there you go. That's true. That is true. That is So I actually do have a question, and this is for like future all cons. Would you ever like bring up or consider like, hey, maybe we should do this? There are some conventions that have started a podcasting program.
We have, I think, 3 podcasts coming in this year. They have the room for 1 to 2 hours, enough time to set up, do the broadcast, and leave. The problem we have is we're out of space. We don't have any more rooms, and to do something like that, I believe you're talking about like a dedicated setup.
Yeah.
Our hotel, because it's a hotel and not like a convention center, has a fixed number of capacity. So many people can be in the time. So what we have to do is look at the size of the room and measure throughput. How many people are going to be in that room at a time and how often? We have had panels that have wanted to take up rooms. But when we look at the number of people that they serve and how many hours a day they operate, they would cause issues with our capacity, taking up that much space and not serving enough people. So would we ever consider a podcast? Possibly. But we would need to have enough content, enough flow to actually justify the use of space. And that's where you actually get into the mechanics of the convention.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of fun. There's a lot of planning. I, as content manager, it's almost like playing a game of The Sims. Okay, well, if these people are in this room and they also have this interest, am I splitting the audience here? If I move it there, is that in conflict with cosplay? Are they going to be at that audience? I have to figure out what 5,000 strangers are thinking a month before they think it. I have to work with a flow. If I put all these fans in this room, in this wing of the hotel, and this other wing is empty, now I've unbalanced my audience.
Right,
now I'm in a capacity issue. So would I consider podcasting? Possibly. If I had a solid track of podcasts and I thought that I could move enough people through it, absolutely. People will sit in game shows. The game show room is standing room only 4 full days. If I get some interesting podcasts in there with audience interaction that bring in, like I said, if you can bring in 15 people every hour, that's really all I need is 15 people every hour to occupy that room successfully.
Mm-hmm.
If I have someone who's going to bring in 5 podcasters with no audience, that's going to count against future hours in that room. Now I have to have somebody who may have to have 30 in there to make up for it. So that's something we look at when we determine content is what's our audience for the community, what's our audience for that room, and what's the room turnover in people.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, because we were thinking about, so I was thinking about buying a booth and running our podcast from it.
We do have podcasters in the vendor room on occasion. Yes.
So I was thinking about doing that for some of the conventions, the more not so expensive conventions, not the ones where it's $500 for a 10 by 10. Okay. Not a 10 by 10. I'm sorry. How big are tables? I don't table.
Ours are 8 by 8.
Okay. Yes.
So here's what I'm talking about our pricing. A 4-day badge is $70 at the door. 2 badges, $140. Our vendor room, which comes with 2 badges, is $350, which means basically your table, if you're buying your badges, is $200 for 4 days. Mm-hmm. That's why we sell out so quickly. If you're going to be attending the convention anyway, $200 for 4 days for a booth is unheard of as far as low cost.
Mm-hmm. I might do that next year. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Vendor space opens up in April. Now, just like our volunteers, we have 70% retention in our vendor room.
We just gotta, we'll do it next year. Geeks Forever live from AllCon. We just gotta drag Sonic with us. So we gotta get him out of the
house. Time to make him go outside.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, that sounds so cool. I wish I could go to that, but the only convention I go to is the Montreal Comic Con. Montreal's Canada, right?
Yeah. I was like,
sorry, I had a dark moment. Sorry, leave me alone. Look, I barely know. Well,
that's the power of your wide reach. Geeks Forever is international.
That's right. So our original slogan, because we weren't always called Geeks Forever. We're gonna go with the word nerds forever. And this just didn't sound right. So we went. So we had a running joke between me and my friends. He would say, "I love you forever," and then they would say 5, and then 6, and then 7, and 8. So we went 5 ever because it kind of flows. The initials can be marketed kind of like the UFC or WWE or anything like that. And like our original slogan was "Forever and Beyond." That was our original slogan before we changed it to the voice of the voiceless. And it's evolved so much. And like now we like whenever we say something like G5E, people are like people that recognize us as G5E, they recognize us as Geek 5 ever. And that's really cool. And our reach is kind of getting out there. You know, we do have people in we have a couple people in Mexico that follow us. We have some people in Canada that follow us. Definitely all over Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. Oh, your dog showed up. We didn't talk about Matsuri today, did we? Oh yeah, we did.
No, we did.
Briefly.
Well, now we did.
No, but yeah, we are running out of time. So is there anything that you would like to share with us? Anything at all about AllCon? You know, like we are pushing for people to come out to the con to check out our panels, but not just check out our panels. Make sure you actually check out the convention because it's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
I'm going to push Free Day Thursday again. If you've never been to a convention and there's no way you're laying out $70 to buy a weekend pass, come on Thursday. It's free to get in. If you don't know what conventions are about, or if you go to conventions and you have friends who don't know what they're about, come on Thursday. Bring them with you. The celebrities are there. The panels are up and running. The events are up and running. You can't beat a free con. It's just really the way to go.
No, seriously, check it out on Thursday. It's awesome. I am going to try my absolute best to be there on Thursday. The only reason why most of our panels are Friday to Sunday, because I work. I'm a trainer. It's hard for me to get time off because if I have a class, can't really take the time off. So I don't think I should have a class. I should be okay. But like definitely come check it out. You can get all the information for AllCon right now at so it's all-con.org. You can actually Google AllCon Dallas right now and go to their website to check out all the information. The convention is once again during spring break in March. Let me get that. Oh man, I scrolled so far down this thing. It is March 14th through the 17th in Dallas, Texas. So it's 4 full days of over 300 events, costume, games, performances, and more. And their slogan is, "What would you choose to do?" They're celebrating 20 years this year. It's awesome.
The big 2-0.
They are open. Looks like so. This doesn't really have like days. It just has like random times. Like okay, looks like Thursday 9 to 9. Or no, this is just kind of confusing. My bad.
What page are you on? Thursday is 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., which is not a typo. Friday is 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday is 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday it's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. because we all got to go home to go to work.
Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Right.
Yeah, it's very fun. There's a lot of family friendly events. There's also some stuff at night for adults. So like, don't think that it's just exclusively for children. It's a balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to drink at the convention, please remember to drink responsibly. With that being said, I want to thank you, Mr. Todd, for joining us on the podcast today to talk about AllCon. We definitely look forward to seeing you at the convention.
Well, thank you for having me. I look forward to see you as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to be there. Hopefully Jace can come out and have some fun with us. We'll see. He's got his kid for spring break. So is there anything like you would like to advertise, plug in for the podcast before we go? Anything you want us to check out? Website?
Nope, we're good.
All right. All right, Dankapus, go ahead and plug in your social media so we can wrap it up.
Oh, it's Dinktopus on everything. Don't look at my Twitter. That's all I ask. That's it.
All right, Sonic, you are next.
All right, just follow me on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel, Keyblade Sonic. I am also on Instagram at Super Saiyan Sonic. From there, you can look at my bio. I have a link tree there, so you can check out all my socials.
All right, guys. So make sure you follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv.com. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, X, or Twitter.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever. You can find us You will find us at AllCon this year. Like I said, we'll be hosting 11 different panels over the course of the weekend. We look forward to seeing everybody. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, do so right now. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring-a-ling, the ding-a-ling button, so you can be notified every time we go live. Also, if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. I want to thank everybody watching on Twitch. We got more people watching there today. Shout out to everyone watching the post show. You know, we are live every Monday for the regular Geeks Forever podcast at 7 p.m. new time, same day. We'll be back tomorrow with another Shit Talkie Tuesday. So tomorrow, our subject is going to be the incident that happened at Animeverse. What happened? What went down? What was said? Who didn't let go of my ego? Find out tomorrow, because that's when we'll share all the tea, all the details, because there are different reports coming from that very incident. And we have a witness who's kind of saw it. He saw it. Did you see it?
Dude, I was like literally all that happened like right in front of me. So if you want to know more details, tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Tune in tomorrow for all the tea. Shit Talkie Tuesdays at 7. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you also subscribe to our Shit Talkie Tuesday podcast. We got 2 YouTube channels, 2 channels, twice the audience. All right, everybody, stay classy, and we'll see you tomorrow and next week. Peace.
Bye.